into the notes
Mrs.
here.
Clinton evidently saw
The first lady.
the first lady. She was then first lady. This is in the 1990s, late 1990s. Mrs. Clinton saw the piece, and I got a call from the White House. And they said Mrs. Clinton was going to be in town to give a speech in Boston. And would I come and meet with her? I said, sure. And so I put together all my files.
Pittsburgh, yay!
After she's finished her speech, we're ushered into a tiny little room somewhere in the bowels of this hotel. And just the two of us. They close the door. Mrs. Clinton sits down. We have hamburgers and French fries.
You tutor her.
And she says, tell me about bankruptcy. And I got to tell you, I never had a smarter student. Quick, right to the heart of it. I go over the law. It's a complex law. Went over the economics, showed her the graphs, showed her the charts, and she got it. Within 20 minutes, she could play where the rest of it would come. Well, then that will mean this part's happened. That will mean this has happened. I said, yes, that's right. And at the end of the conversation, Mrs. Clinton stood up. She said, let's get our picture taken, which we did. And she said, Professor Warren, we've got to stop that awful bill, referring to this bankruptcy bill that's sponsored by the credit card companies. So I left. She went back to Washington, and I heard later from someone who was a White House staffer that there were skid marks in the hallways when Mrs. Clinton got back as people reversed direction on that bankruptcy bill.
They were supporting the industry, and because of her.
President Clinton had been showing that this was another way that he could be helpful to business. It wasn't a very high visibility bill. And when Mrs. Clinton.
This is why you shouldn't vote for the broad.
A little better understanding of how it all worked. They reversed course, and they reversed course fast. And indeed, the proof is in the pudding. The last bill that came before President Clinton was that bankruptcy bill that was passed by the House and the Senate in 2000, and he vetoed it. And in her autobiography, Mrs. Clinton took credit for that veto, and she rightly should. She turned around a whole administration on the subject of bankruptcy. She got it.
And then?
One of the first bills that came up after she was Senator Clinton was the bankruptcy bill. This is a bill that's like a vampire. It will not
New
die.
York is where what's at? Wall Street.
Her husband had vetoed it very much.
Who's she been giving talks to? Wall Street. She don't give about you.
As Senator Clinton, the pressures
of New York State.
It's a well-financed industry. A lot of people don't realize that the industry that gave the most money to Washington over the past few years was not the oil industry, was not pharmaceuticals. It was consumer credit products. Those are the people, the credit card companies have been giving money, and they have influence.
And Mrs. Clinton was one of them, as senator.
She has taken money from the groups, and more to the point, she's
taken a whole lot of money from the groups and worries about them as a constituent.
Millions of people out there. The politicians cavort in front of is favoring the middle class, and then
we're going to come back, okay?
Powerful interests that undermine the middle class. What does it say about politics today?
This is the scary part about democracy today. We're talking again about the impact of money. The credit industry on this bankruptcy bill has spent tens of millions of dollars lobbying, and as their profits grow, they just throw more into lobbying for how they can get laws that will make it easier and easier and easier to drain money out of the pockets of middle-class families.
See, why is Jesus white with blonde and blue eyes? Why is the Lord Supper all white men? Angels are white. Who? Mary and even the angels. I said, Mother, when we die, do we go to heaven? She said, naturally, we go to heaven. I said, well, what happened to all the black angels that took the pictures? I said, oh, I know. If the white folks was in heaven too, then the black angels were in the kitchen preparing the milk and honey. So listen, you quit saying that. Well, I was always curious. And I always wondered why I had to die to go to heaven. Why I couldn't have pretty cars and good money and nice homes now. Why do I have to wait till I die to get milk and honey? And I said, Mama, I don't want no milk and honey. I like steaks and I said, milk and honey is a laxative anyway. They have a lot of bathrooms in heaven. So anyway, I was always curious. I always wondered why. Tarzan is the king of the jungle in Africa. He was white. White man. I saw this white man swinging around Africa with a diaper on, hollering. Oh! You all see Tarzan over here? Right. And all the Africans, so he's beating them up and breaking the lion's jaw. And here's Tarzan talking to the animals. And the Africans been there for centuries, and he yet can't talk to the animals. Only Tarzan can talk to them. I always wondered why Miss America was always white. All the beautiful brown women in America, beautiful suntans, beautiful shapes, all type complexions, but she always was white. And Miss World was always white. And Miss Universe was always white. And then we got some stuff called White House cigars, white swan soap, king white soap, white cloud tissue paper, white rain hair rest, white tornado flow wax. Everything was white. And the angel food cake was the white cake, and the devil food cake was the chocolate cake. I always wondered, you know, and the president lived in the White House. And Mary had a little lamb, his feet as white as snow, and snow white. And everything was white. Santa Claus was white. And everything bad was black. The little ugly duckling was a black duck. And the black cat was the bad luck. And if I threaten you, I'm going to blackmail you. So Mama wanted to call it white male. They laughed too. I was always curious. And this is when I knew something was wrong. Won the Olympic gold medal in Rome Italy. Olympic champion, the Russian standing right here, and the Pole right here. Is Poland considered a communist country? Yeah, I'm defeating America's so-called threats, enemies. And the flag is going dun 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 dun. I'm standing so proud. Dun 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 dun.
I miss him.
Dun 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 dun. I took my gold medal, thought I'd invented something. I said, man, I know I'm going to get my people freedom. I'm the champion of the whole world, Olympic champion. I know I can eat downtown now. And I went downtown that day, got my big old medal on, and went to restaurants. At that time, black things weren't integrated. Black folks couldn't eat downtown. And I went downtown, I sat down, and I said, you know, a cup of coffee, hot dog. Lady said, we don't serve Negroes. I was so mad. I said, I don't eat them either. Just give me a couple of
That is Muhammad Ali, the greatest of all time, the GOAT. Miss him dearly. Before that was Elizabeth Warren talking about Hillary Clinton and the then Senator Hillary Clinton and the decisions that she made. Today for Power Hour, y'all, we are talking about daddies. What is the best advice your daddy ever gave you? What advice do you have for new daddies? Or if you just want to shout out a good man, a great man, shout him out, shout him out. Say his name, say his name. I want to give a huge shout out to my daddy, Mr. Eric Ward. I want to give a huge shout out to my uncles, Uncle Terry, Uncle Tyrone, Uncle Jacob, every single last one of them, all of the Parker men, because every single last one of them is so dope. So dope. Who in your life, what man in your life do you want to give a shout out? All of the Parkers, all of the Bennetts, all of the Wards. Shout out to you. I want to give a shout out to all of the men on my mom's side because they are amazing as well. Love them like teddy bears. We have to respect our elders. We have to respect our elders. And we don't. We have absolutely no respect for our elders. And when I mean elders, don't be like Anari. Mommy say you have to listen to me because I'm your elder. I mean our elders. I mean those that honestly came before us. Those that had a real life struggle. Those that know what life looks like. Those that fought and were warriors for the things that we have today. I want to give a huge shout out to Uncle Melvin. Uncle Melvin said the best advice I gave my daughters, that they are not going to have a man telling them what to do and what they are going to be their own women, and education is key. What is the best advice your daddy or your father figure told you? What is the worst advice? Hey, some of y'all might have deadbeat dads. Those are real too. What's the worst advice your daddy gave you? The role of a father is so important. I posted a meme this weekend. A father is a boy's first hero and a girl's first love. How many of our youth are running around these streets whose heroes have flashy car and no morals? They have money but no integrity. I would love for more of us women to start choosing better men. Choosing better men. Most of us had babies completely out of wedlock from bastards. Most of us had, you ain't the only one, neither, I wasn't married when neither one of my kids were born. And Ari said, damn, that makes me a bastard. Yeah, absolutely, Anari. I wasn't married. My parents weren't married. It's the truth. Shout out Omar Jackson. Best advice my father gave me: work first, play later. 617-282-0062, or we are currently on Facebook Live as well as on YouTube. What is the best advice your daddy gave you? Maybe the worst advice your daddy gave you. What man do you want to shout out? I want to shout out Taqwa. I want to shout out Brother Charles Clemens Muhammad. I know a lot of people feel some type of way about Charles, but Charles honestly has the city's best interest in his heart. I said it. I'll say it again. I want to give a shout out to Val Beats. Ill Nil. I know Val Beats isn't a daddy yet. He has dogs, not kids, not children. But he's the city's daddy. He comes on air and schools y'all and educates y'all on what's going on in the community, what's going on in the world. Ill Nil is a great father. I believe he has 3 children, 2 girl twins and a boy. We have to uplift our men, love our men, encourage our men. Women, we got to do a better job, mama. We got to do a better job. We are not perfect. We never see our flaws, ever. But you got to understand that you ain't perfect. You ain't flawless. Beyonce got you thinking you flawless. Nah, boo, you got flaws. We all do. Don't try and take the splinter out of my eye. You got a whole log in yours. We got to do better as a community. We got to fix our family, build our families, love our families. That's what we need to work on first and foremost, is our family. And that includes having a father around. Society got you believing that you are independent, strong woman. You don't need no man. That's a damn lie. That's a lie. 617-282-0062. Verizon call you live.
Good morning, Taylor. How you doing?
Super fantastic. How are you?
Good. I'm doing fine. I like the topic this morning. I like what you said earlier about women making better decisions, choosing when dating a brother. I gotta check it. My dad always said that to me. Please do not date someone that's not gonna lead you to anything positive. In other words, he's saying that if the person's not doing something positive, don't bother wasting your time with them. And also, he also said that please choose someone to make your own family. Don't go into someone else that already has a family, like a blended family. And then I choose, I take his suggestion, and then eventually I see, wow, it really worked out for me.
So I believe in that too. I believe that, a single man and a single woman that have no kids should create their own family. But as a woman that has 2 kids, I would have to say that, a part of me disagrees, because I one day wish to be married. And that's going to be a blended family for that man, because we already set up shop. Damn near my kid's grown. I got a 13-year-old and a 10-year-old. So what the advice that your daddy gave you is like, damn, Tayla shouldn't get married, because, you shouldn't go into a family.
Right now, you're single. If you already have kids, I don't mind joining in a blended family. But if you have none, try to look for somebody else who has none, so you could, be.
You just said I'm a second option. See, look at this. Look at this.
No. But listen. Let's say tell her that things didn't work out. Obviously, I'm gonna find somebody. I can't stay by myself. You understand? But
I got you.
He was like putting this into my head since I was in high school. Like, you know,
Get
saying,
your
listen,
own
I want
family.
you to do this, I want you to do that. But I don't know why he was putting this into my head till now I find out, wow, it was, you know, a good thing that I kept beyond my mind. Like every time I'm dating somebody that I was like asking specific questions. But as you get older, things change, you know. You understand what I'm trying to say?
I got you. I was just joking. I got you. But thank you. Tell your daddy I said hello.
All right.
Happy Father's Day. Happy Father's Day. Good rising, Carly, alive.
Thank you. It's happy to speak to you. I am happily, miserably married. But that's what I told you. You never touched that story about the ice age.
Hold on. Say that again.
The story about the ice agent. You guys never spoke about that. Are you not familiar with that story?
I am not.
All right, there was an ICE agent, and he committed suicide in New York, and he left a lengthy letter why he committed suicide or some stuff that the government's about to try. You should check that out. It's very interesting.
I definitely will. Are you a daddy?
I am a daddy.
Happy Father's Day, Daddy.
I'm happily miserable.
Happily miserable. That's the. You know what? That's exactly where everybody wants to be. So you have what everybody wants. So do not take that for granted. Because let her leave today, you're going to be boo-hoo crying, wishing somebody will make you happy, miserable all over again.
She's my backbone. My wife is the power head of the family.
We usually are. We usually the head, the heart, the neck. Y'all just the groin area. No, just joking.
I'm sure that's going to bring a lot of conversation for you.
I definitely will. Thank you, baby. Did your daddy give you any advice you want to share with us?
No, but my kids did. Don't be afraid to get on roller coasters.
As a parent of an adventurer, I completely understand. Happy Father's Day to you, my love. My son, oh my gosh, Anari went on the world's largest swing. If you Google the world's largest swing, I called their daddy and I was like, let me talk to Anari. He was like, no, your son's about to jump to his death. Hold on, put my son on the phone. He's about to commit suicide. Put my son on the phone. I'll send you a video. I get a video. Anari is about 700 feet in the air, and then he just swings down on a rope looking like a little spider. It was the craziest thing. So you learn so much from your children. We have another caller on the line, 617-282-0062. What advice did your daddy give you, whether good or bad, that has stuck with you always? What man do you want to shout out? Because just because yesterday was Father's Day, but daddies don't get enough love. Men don't get enough love. We don't support. We don't acknowledge. We don't uplift. We don't encourage our men the way that we should. We name call them. We blame them for everything. Can we have one day where we just say, thank you, Daddy. I appreciate you, Father. Thank you, Uncle. Or any man that ever been a male role model to you. A man is a girl's first love and a boy's first hero. If you have a child and you are not active in that child's life, shame on you. Because you're the one that's missing out, not that baby. That baby needs a daddy, but I bet you the mama doing everything she can to make sure it's right. You're the one that's missing out on amazing moments that help you learn to become a better person, to become a better man. Good rising, Carly, alive.
Good morning. How are you doing?
Super fantastic. Happy Father's Day, Daddy.
Thank you. The best advice I got was from an old school brother that used to play basketball. I guess he was a retiree. And one day a cop came by, and he was somewhat of a jerk, and his partner was white. And I noticed he just seemed to get more and more intense. And when he left, the brother told me, let that be a lesson to you. Just because someone shares your skin tone doesn't mean they're a brother, or if it's a female, a sister.
Did you have to bring race into the conversation today? Can we not just talk about daddies?
But that's the thing. It was great fatherly advice because it helped me out a lot. And not for nothing, I think that advice also affects how you choose your mate and everything else. Like to tie in your mention of Kamala Harris, there's a sister. Her name is Turner. same rising star in the Democratic Party, but she's not put on a pedestal. Why? Because she doesn't fit the narrative that would change the dynamics of our relationship. Her husband's black. Her family is a great Bill Cosby type. They don't want to see that. They want to see a Camilla with a white husband with mixed kids. So the reason why Father Day and other relationships in our community are jacked up is because the people that are changing the narrative, that's their agenda.
Is her name Nina Turner?
Is that her first name? She's dark skin. I know her last name's Turner. I forget. Like, that could be it. She wears glasses, kind of thick.
I see her. I see that, baby. I'll go ahead and do my due diligence on both Nina Turner as well as the ISIS agent. Or, I'm sorry, the ICE agent that wrote that lengthy letter. Thank you. As a father, what have you learned from your children?
Well, I just became a stepdad, so right now it's beginning a learning process. But I'm kind of glad I waited. I have more patience. I probably couldn't have done this at 21.
So hold on, really, as a stepfather, you know how important your role is, right? As even though she may have a father and her father may be active in her life, you as a stepfather with her mother is showing her what a man loving a woman looks like.
Oh, there's no doubt. I already having conversations. I told her 3 rules. He's got to be darker than me. He has to treat you like a Nubian queen, and he can't be Republican.
Lord have mercy. Lord have mercy. Lord have mercy. Mr. Nubian, y'all, you don't have to agree, but you definitely can call 617-282-0062. Love you, Mr. Nubian. Happy Father's Day to you, stepfather, half father, no father, mother's boyfriend. You matter. All men matter. Hashtag all men matter. And I'm serious. I really do mean that, because just because you are not that child's biological father does not mean that you don't play that father figure role. Just because you're just the mom's boyfriend. And really quickly, if I may say, can I just be 100% transparent? If you are the mother's boyfriend and you're there for the smash and pass, please leave. Please get up and leave, because you are doing so much damage to that child. You are doing so much damage to that child as a man who knows that you do not plan on staying in that relationship. Because now there's going to be another body in that bed after you. If you don't plan on staying there, don't be there. Woman, if you don't plan on marrying him, don't be there. We need to be more selective about the people that we choose to lie down with, because it leads to children, that leads to fatherhood. And half y'all don't even want it. If you don't want it, don't do it. Shout out Omar Jackson. Salute to Tayla Andre for understanding the importance of the balance between a man and a woman relationship, man-woman relationship. Understanding that a man needs his woman to support him and uplift him. While the man is flawed, he still needs support, a support network in places to make it through the challenges of life. We all need support to make it through the challenges of life. But we do need to, women, we are so strong. If you did to a man what a man did to you as far as cheating is concerned, as far as lying is concerned, a man could not handle it. He would break down. He'd break something. Punch something. A man cannot handle the pain. That's why we the one that birthed these children. A man couldn't handle that. Sometimes we have to be the stronger vessel. Sometimes we have to be the smarter vessel. Sometimes we just need to shut up and let them talk. Let them talk. They'll figure it out. They'll talk their way into a circle and put that noose around their neck, hang themselves, be like, damn, okay. Sometimes I think we as women talk entirely too much. Especially in a relationship, sometimes you just need to be quiet and listen to what's really going on. And sometimes that man is hurt. Sometimes that man is broken. And if you have to uplift him and your pride won't let you, this is the society that we live in, where women have more pride than men. Put your pride down and uplift that man. Put your pride down and understand that he hurts too. He has feelings too. He wants to cry too. He's emotional too. You're not the only one that's hurt. You're not the only one that needs help. You're not the only one that wants to be held. You're not the only one that wants to be consoled. You're not the only one that wants to be talked to. But sometimes we are so damn selfish, we can't see outside ourselves. We think it's all about us. Society got us thinking we don't need a man. We got this. And you wondering why your heart hurts so bad. The society that we live in is not how we're supposed to be living. It's not at all. We're supposed to be uplifting our men, supporting our men, loving our men, not calling them all types of dogs this and dogs that. I want to go back to as a man speaketh, so he is. What are you speaking into your life? What are you speaking into this man's life? What are you speaking into your son's life? What are you speaking into your father's life? The power of life and death is in your tongue. What are you saying? And I mean that. What are you saying to this man? What are you speaking to him? Are you tearing him down? Are you cutting him down with every word that you speak? If that's the case, don't say nothing at all. What's that, a little childhood parable? If you don't have nothing to say, don't say nothing at all. Yes, please. Take that, use that. If you don't have anything nice to say, don't say a damn thing. Uplift our men, love our men, cherish our men, because we need them. I know this is about fathers, but in order for us to have a strong man, he needs a woman right behind him supporting everything that he does. We are your backbone. We're their backbone, baby. You need him and he need you. We need each other. Do you know how many daddies didn't get to see their babies yesterday? Do you know how many daddies didn't get to see their children yesterday? Do you know how many selfish women didn't allow daddies to see their children yesterday for no other reason than their selfishness? He's not harmful to that baby. He ain't never did nothing to that child. He hurt my feelings. He didn't respect me. He didn't call me the way I wanted him to call. I'm wearing my shirt today. New Jersey for, what is it? New Jersey for kids. New Jersey for parental equality. I'm all for parental equality. Them daddies have rights too. Them daddies have equal rights. Daddies' lives matter too. We walk around here acting like just because you're in Massachusetts, you can go ahead and do whatever you want with these babies. You can't. You can't. It's not about you. When you gave birth, when you brought that child into this world, it wasn't. That's that moment. It started when you found out you were pregnant. That's when your whole world switched upside down. It was no longer about you. Whether you wanted to drink, whether you wanted to smoke, whether you wanted to run a marathon, you had to make decisions based on the situation that you were in. And your pregnancy and the health of your child should have been number one. When that baby was born, when that child was born, there is a yin and a yang. There is a negative and a positive. And for your weaknesses, that man has a strength. For your strength, that man has a weakness. Your child needs both. I want to honor every man that has never been honored before. If no woman ever told you you matter, baby, you matter. If no woman ever uplifted you, I'm telling you, I love you. You are an amazing man. You are an amazing daddy. Don't think for 5 seconds because you don't know what you're doing that's going to, I don't know what I'm doing. What if I break something? What if I don't do something the right way? I'm scared. Like I never had a father. A lot of these men that leave the situation that don't want to be a daddy is because they never had a father. So how am I supposed to know how to be a daddy when I never saw that example? Side note, I always wonder why the Bible didn't let Jesus have a wife. Why Jesus can't have a wife? Then we could have understood what a marriage looked like from Jesus' perspective. Why Jesus can't have a wife? Why he can't have kids? So that was so sidebar. But if you didn't have an example prior, how are you supposed to know what to do? Ladies, sometimes we have to understand that. Sometimes we have to understand that, he's scared. And instead of making fun of him and calling him all kinds of names, why don't you say, you know what? I understand that you're scared. I understand that you're worried that you're not going to be a good dad because you never had that daddy figure in your life, but it's okay. We're going to figure this out. We're going to figure this out. I didn't have the best mother. We're going to figure this out together. I want to honor every man who has ever called all types of names, who had their child not even call them or believe in them or even love them because of the things that the mother has said to the child about you. I know the struggle is real. I used to be that woman. Just pray for her, baby. Just pray for her. I can't tell you how many messages are coming in right now like, Tayla, this is life. This is real life. And there's a lot of men out here that are going through the struggle. There are a lot of men out here that just want to be daddies. There are a lot of men out here that are great fathers, but do not have that opportunity to prove it. Keep trying. Don't for 5 seconds let anything deter you. I don't care how much you have to go to court. I don't care how much you have to keep fighting. You got to keep fighting for that baby. But she get on my last nerve, Tayla. You know, I want to put my hands on her, Tayla. I got to stay the distance from her, Tayla, to have your mama get involved. Have your sister go get that baby. You don't have to see her. But do not for 5 seconds stop calling to see your child. Do not for 5 seconds stop writing letters. If you have no access to your child, write a journal. Keep a journal. Have those love letters so when your baby boy or your baby girl grows up, even though they have all of this BS they remember being told, they can go back and refer to these letters that you wrote when I was 2 years old. When I couldn't even read, you were writing to me. There's always a solution. I want the men to take notes. I'm thinking of everything that Pedro told us about parental equality and how men can gain their parental equality and how men can be the fathers in their children's lives by doing things the right way. If you have no access to your child, start a journal on how the relationship is. I called on Tuesday, 6 p.m. I asked to speak to my child. She hung up on me. But I bet that money came out your child. I bet that child support check came out your I bet that child support money came out your check. You have rights. Don't think for 5 seconds. Don't let her tell you no lies. You have rights. If you don't have any money, you want to petition the court to see your child, guess what? They have hardship scholarships. They're not really scholarships, but they waive your fee. They will waive. If you can't afford to pay that $250 to go to court to get access to your child, they can waive that fee. I bet you didn't know that. I bet that's not something that's highly publicized. That's not something that's told to a lot of men. If you do not have the funds, you can have the $250 fee waived so you can have access to your child. I'm going to do everything I can to make sure my babies know exactly what rights they have to their children. Happy Father's Day to all of my men. Happy Father's Day to the stepdaddies. Happy Father's Day to the mother's boyfriends that have been dealing with a deadbeat dad that don't want to step up and be a real man. Happy Father's Day to every grandfather raising kids because the mama and daddy ain't no good. Happy Father's Day to foster parents, the loving ones, because we know we got some shady ones. Happy Father's Day to the foster parents, that foster daddies taking children in because they don't have fathers. Y'all, you have rights, baby. You have rights. We got 2 callers on the line. 617-282-0062. 617-282-0062. Good rising, caller, you're live.
Hi. I want to say something about that I noticed growing up is when as a single parent, I should say, I've been in situations where I was with another single mother, and this was at church, and one of the parishioners said to her, "Oh, you're both mother and father, and you're doing a good job." And she stuck out her chest proud, and I said, and I looked at that, and I saw the expression on her children's face, and it looked kind of like they were kind of startled by that. But the mother was proud that when she said that you're both mother and father. So I didn't say anything to her at that time, but I waited for some time to pass. I say about a week or two. And I said, you know what? People have said to me, "Oh, so you're both mother and father." I always say to them when they say that to me, I say, "No, a mother, because I want my children to understand that it takes a man to be a father.
Amen.
It takes a man to teach a boy how to be a man. And I didn't want my son saying, looking to think that, oh, a father's job isn't important. Even a mother can do it. No, a father is very important. I agree with you wholeheartedly, Tayla. A father's role cannot be done by a woman, no matter how much she may be there for the child. A child still needs a father. A father's very, very important.
Thank you, baby. Thank you. We needed to hear that because daddy lives matter. I love you. I appreciate you. I hope you have an amazing day today. For all the women that wanted Happy Father's Day because their daddy's not in their life, you are not a father. You do not have a penis. Maybe you did once upon a time and now you're a woman. I don't know how that works. You are not a man. You are not a father. It takes a father. It takes a man. And the yin of the yang, baby. You're only one half. You think you're all that. You're not. You're only one half and that child needs the other half. And I don't care. Listen, I don't care if that man used to be on drugs. I don't care if that man used to be abusive. I understand why you would not want your child in that kind of environment. But you have to understand that regardless of that man's flaws, regardless of that man's past, regardless of who that man is, first and foremost, you chose to lay down with him. Second of all, you chose to keep that baby. Third of all, that baby, regardless of whether you want to admit it or not, needs that man in his or her life so that he can see or she can see the mistakes that that father made and then dictate and determine whether or not they want to follow down that path or go the other way. At least give them that option. At least give them the option. Don't lie to these babies like, oh, your father's dead just because they did drugs and maybe you don't know if they're clean today. You went ahead and left. You can't do that. I get it. Everybody has a past, but you can't keep the baby away from the father just because the father has a criminal record or did something. That may not be the best role model, but that's still the child's father. Or Tayla, you just saying you want me to let my child be around an abusive man, an alcoholic man? You want my child to be around a drug addict? You want my child to be around? I want that child to be around his daddy so if you know what? My daddy was a drug addict. My daddy was an alcoholic. My daddy was an abusive man. And I'm going to do everything in my power to make sure that I'm a better man than he ever was. My daddy was a drug addict. My daddy was an abusive man. My daddy was an alcoholic. But I'm going to do everything in my power to make sure that I marry a man that's nothing like my father. You got to give those babies the opportunity to know who their father is so they can understand who they are. I want to acknowledge two of the callers that are on the line now. Yesterday, I was with my Auntie Frances. Auntie Frances just had her leg amputated. I went to go visit and sit with her. You know I love my elders. And she told me about my great-grandmother, my Nina. She said in Creole, it means Anna. And she told me that she was such a wonderful lady. She said, you know what? Actually, she reminded me of you. You remind me of her. You guys have the same quality. She started telling me about my great-grandfather and how he was an ambitious man, how nothing, if he wanted something, he got it. The land that we have in Duxbury was nothing but woods, and he made those acres of woods into what he wanted. She said he was so resilient. He knew what he wanted, and he went for it. I then, for a minute, had a moment of pride because I was like, now I know where I get it from. Can't stop, won't stop, bad boys, baby. I know where I get it from. If I didn't have that knowledge of the people of my past, my ancestors, my great-grands, if I didn't have that knowledge, I wouldn't know who I am. So can you think for 5 seconds how a child may feel when they don't know that other side of the family, when they don't know that father figure? You got to give that baby the opportunity, and you got to give the daddy the opportunity to make the same mistakes that you may have made, but in secret, and want to publicize all the mistakes that man made. What happened in the dark come out in the light sooner or later. 617-282-0062. Good rising, caller, you live.
Good rising.
Good rising, Queen. How are you?
I'm good, and you?
I'm super fantastic.
Listen, I called you because
Is that Miss G?
I think that a lot of people are in denial. So they don't want to deal with it. And it means all through their life, they're denying their children, they're denying their heritage, they're denying who they really are. So until they confront themselves, they won't be able to stand up. I went through that phase. So I need to, let someone know that I know what it's like. And also, he was talking about Jesus, and the only thing that I could see was he was here to resist temptation, and he could have had a wife. He could have had many things, but he wasn't there for that.
Thank you, Miss G, for breaking that down for me, baby. I love you. I'm going to call you as soon as the show ends.
Okay.
All right, Miss G. Love it. Appreciate you. 617-282-0062. Good rising. Call you live.
Hello?
Hey, good rising.
Hey, got top of the morning.
Top of the morning.
Like about an hour, my name's Rico from Boston.
Hey, Rico.
Talking about. And I want to thank you for giving a shout out to all the fathers and stuff. People really listening. We consider that, or we take that really to heart. A lot of people don't recognize that. For the fathers that do struggle, I'm currently dealing with one of the situations myself, getting my kid back in line, dealing with the bull crap that comes along with the baby mothers and whatever else. But yeah, I want to thank you for that, and keep going, man. I like listening to things like this.
Thank you, baby. Rico, I hope you call in the future. I hope you keep listening. We got over 500 other shows that are currently on Mixcloud, YouTube, and Facebook Live. So I hope you'll keep listening. Maybe go back and listen to some other shows. And if you need help as far as, child support, there's about 6 or 7 shows that we've had in the past that give you step-by-step legal advice that help you with support. We have a bunch of resources on fathers. I am a clear supporter and advocate for fathers for equal rights. Just because we live in Massachusetts does not mean that a father should not have the same rights as a mother. I do not believe in that. I believe that these fathers are as determined as they may be. The court system breaks them down, and these half attorneys have them feeling like they don't have any rights. They don't have, they don't empower them. You guys have rights. There are advocacy groups here in the state that will help you. There are legal supports that will help you. If you do not have the $250 it costs to file that paperwork to say, I want access to my child on the weekends, on the weekdays, during Christmas, if you don't have the money for that paperwork, there's a sliding fee. They can cut that out. If you don't have the financial means, you don't have to pay. You just sign a little waiver, I'm broke, and they go ahead and slide that $250 fee. But you have to fight for yourself. You have to advocate for yourself. It's financially difficult. It's emotionally difficult. And we live in a state that favors the mother. Mother could be a crackhead on Mass Ave. Well, actually, I can't say crackhead because
it's not even that the mother. It's like the fathers just don't have no rights, no say so, because they ain't push them out.
Well, we're going to change all that, baby, one step at a time. I thank you. I love you. I appreciate you. And I want to shout out one more time for all of the daddies that are fighting for your children. Do not give up. Do not give up. It feels like you have no rights. It feels like this isn't moving forward. Like this is never going to work out. I'll just see the baby when he turned 18 because I can't deal with the mama. Do not give up on that child, because when that child is grown, when that child is an adult, they're going to sit there and ask you the questions. They're going to ask you, why did you forget about me? Why didn't you come get me? Why didn't you come see about me? And if you are the father's family, you better reach out to that simple-minded little girl and tell her to get her stuff together, because I want my baby to know the rest of their family. Because without that sperm, you would not have that child. Babies need both sides. I am so blessed to have known my mother's side and my father's side equally. I know my uncles on my mother's side. I know my uncles on my father's side. equally. That's how it's supposed to be. That's that village that raises that child. But if you think you're doing this by yourself, I'm talking to the mothers. If you think you're doing this by yourself, if you think for 5 seconds that, oh, all about me, I have my child. No, if you were to do what you were supposed to do and make sure that baby's father is in the life, then that whole entire family helps raise that child. That whole entire family picks that baby up from daycare. That whole entire family comes to graduation. You have to include that other side. It's not only about you. Grow up. For the men, you need to grow up too, because you need to figure out what's more important. The headache of the mother or the heartache of that child. What's more important to you? That headache or that heartache? Hey, boo, hey, boo. AB said, my absent deadbeat sperm donor taught me by his example not to be either. That drug addict daddy, that alcoholic daddy, that no good chasing women are more important than me daddy. That example matters too, because then that man, that boy grows into a man that wants to love women, that wants to support women, who doesn't want to be anything like his daddy and ends up being the greatest father on earth. Good rising, Linda. She said, I love this topic. Oh, so true. We have an inbox message. Tayla, I can't tell you how today's show has affected me. I'm going through something serious with my daughter's mother, and I wanted to quit, but I'm going down to the courthouse today to file. I don't know what that says, but yes, baby, there is a sliding fee. If you don't have it, tell them you don't have it. They'll do what they can, and the paperwork will go through. Sign that paper and say, I'm broke. Because if you ain't got it, you ain't got it. But just because you don't have any money doesn't mean you shouldn't have access to your child. We came to the top of the hour. It's okay if you didn't want to call. You don't have to call me. Call that man that made a difference in your life. I don't care if it was your high school science teacher. Find him and tell him you appreciate him. You remember XYZ, your guidance counselor, your coach, football, basketball, baseball, softball, soccer. All of these men play a role in our children's life. The bus driver. You don't know what man is making an impact in your baby's life. You don't know what man, maybe a teacher, a professor. Call him and tell him thank you. Call him and tell him you love him. How often do we tell men we love them? Oh, he's strong. He don't need me to tell. You better tell that man you love him. Women, put your pride down, baby. We're not supposed to have all this pride. Put your pride down. We're all the way at the top, but I do want to get this through. Good rising, caller, you live.
How you doing?
Super fantastic. How you, baby?
Doing good. I got a question. Well, it's not a question. I got an issue with this topic you're talking about.
That's okay.
I got a kid's mother. I do everything for my kid's mother, and she's sitting here and act like I don't do nothing. You know what I mean? Like I'm like one of these great fathers out here in these streets. I go above and beyond for mine, and then these women act like when they get mad, like you don't do nothing for the kid or nothing. You know what I mean?
I do, and you're not the only one. You're not the only one. Let me get mad enough. Anari and Asari's daddy gonna be a deadbeat too, but I ain't never call him. He's a half beat. He used to be a quarter note. So you're right. We take it too personal. We think it's about us. It's not about us. It's not. And I can say that wholeheartedly as a woman who has been in a position that acted like that baby mama. We need to grow up and we need to be the mother of these children and stop acting like a baby mama. We need to. Because there are men out here that are doing their job. There are men out here that want to do their job. Let me tell you one thing, baby. If you don't listen to nothing else I say, start taking notes about your relationship. And I don't care if the court system was not in bed with you, lying down with you, making that baby, because this was my biggest thing. The court wasn't laying down with me. Me and the judge ain't had no baby. So So why I need to take you to court for you to come see your child? And the women are usually the ones going to court. Men, if you don't have access to your babies, take yourself downtown, go get that paperwork, and go get your baby. Don't let her threaten you with child support in the court system. Take her to court. I'm taking you to court because I was supposed to come get Ray Ray on Friday. You told me I couldn't come get Ray Ray on Friday. I ain't seen Ray Ray in 2 weeks, and you think this is okay? It's not okay. It's not okay. Don't let her threaten you with court. You threaten her with court. You go to court, you file the paperwork to say, I want to see my child. More men start going to court saying, I want to see my baby. This court system going to turn around in a minute. I love you, baby. Good luck. Good luck. I love you. I appreciate you. You don't let her threaten you to take you to court. Take her to court. Take her to court. I love you guys so much. I love you. Men, I love you. Daddies, I love you. Uncles, I love you. Stepdaddies, I love you. Cousins that act like uncles, I love you. All of the men in my life, from Uncle Terry to Kamal, to Uncle Tyrone, to Uncle Jacob, to Uncle Chubby. Every single last one of the cousins that act like uncles. Every single last one of the neighbors, friends, people that have been in my life since I was a little girl. All of my uncle's friends, all of my daddy's friends. All of the men that have played a role in my life. As soon as I pick up the phone and I say, he did it, they're coming. All of those men that are down for these girls. I thank you. I love you. I appreciate you. If nobody has ever told you, or maybe it's been a while since somebody told you, I love you. We need you. I don't care how much that woman want to push you away, won't let you see the baby. I need you. I don't care how hateful my mama is. I need you. You are needed. You are wanted. Do what you have to do to go fight for that child. It's more than child support. You want to know what child support looks like? Child support looks like a day at the park. That's child support. Child support is when you go for a walk. Child support is watching a movie. Child support is tickling. Child support is having deep conversations. Child support is letting her put all types of barrettes and bubbles in your hair and everything else. That's child support. Sometimes us as women, we think it's like, give me my money. That don't really benefit the child. It does. It certainly does. Don't think I'm sleeping on the financial aspect. But the emotional is the most important. This is my soapbox. I can stand here all day and talk about this. But I can't because I'm about to go to Ralph's to go get me some saltfish and ackee with some porridge. Shout out to Ralph's. He is across from the Dorchester Courthouse. Saltfish and ackee in equal proportions. If you go anywhere else, you're getting a whole lot of saltfish or a whole lot of ackee. At Ralph's, you get equal proportions. The chicken for breakfast is absolutely amazing. I need to find out the address. And they're open at 7 a.m. and the doors open at 7 and the food's ready at 7. The doors don't open at 7 and food ready at 7:20. We late. We need to get to work. Can I get my food and leave? Y'all know who I'm talking about. ZC Boston. Make sure you get your lunch bento box, $10 bento box. It is going to fill you up. The atmosphere is absolutely amazing. A 3-mile radius from Boston Medical Center. They deliver all the way up Blue Hill Ave until it links up with Columbia Road. $1 oysters for the first dozen. Free delivery, free parking. Half-price sushi on the weekends. We went there yesterday and it was packed. Everybody was in there watching the game. Thank you, Faith's Natural Beauty Products. She has new summer products, you guys. You got to go to the website, see these new summer products. Faith's with an S, Naturals with an S, beauty.com. I love you. I appreciate you. I hope you have an amazing day. Mwah!
That's right, baby. You know what it is? It's DJ Sus One, the feature presentation. Listen, make sure you wake up with Tayla Andre Monday through Friday, 5 to 7 a.m. on Big City 101.3 FM.
Wake up with the Radio Rebel. Politics, news, conspiracies. Wake up your third eye with unorthodox conversations leading to universal consciousness.
That type of stuff I'm into, all right? Make sure you tune in. Let's go.
Do you know how many women talk about deadbeat daddies? I'm going to talk about these deadbeat mamas because really, at the end of the day, these mamas that are keeping these babies away from these men, that's the deadbeat. That's the deadbeat. When I pay child support and can't see my child, you're the deadbeat. When I do everything in my power for my child and you still talking noise about me, talking bad in front of my baby, you're the problem. And men, you got to do what you got to do. You got to get up out of the house. You got to go down to that court. We don't never want to go to court. We don't never want to be in front of a judge. We feel some type of way about that. You have to empower yourself enough and know that your child needs you enough for you to fight for that baby. Fight for that baby. Fight for that baby. Fight for that baby. Like you would be out here trying to fight for these women. If half these men started paying more attention to these babies like they do chasing after these half-naked ass women, we have more daddies out here. I don't think that I don't know about the deadbeats women. I know ladies mad at me like, Tayla always on the men's side. She always on the men's side. Not always, but if he's a good man, why not? If he's a good daddy, why not? I thank you. I love you. I appreciate you. I hope you guys have an amazing day today. Baby, I like you. I think YouTube is still on though, so I can't even turn it on. Mwah. Thank you.